Welcome everyone to the SERL American Ethanol Series Season 2 Race 11 at South Boston Speedway, where we have 4 drivers ready to go around and around and around on the 0.4 mile short track located in Virginia. And remember what I said, 0.4 miles? This makes it the shortest track the SERL goes to overall, not just this series. And when we were here a season ago, there was a lot going on. It was later in the season, so there was more talk about championship and championship contenders, and some of those championship contenders actually had struggles and took huge hits in the points. And there were some things in last season's race that we don't normally see, such as hits into the wall at full speed, a couple of flips, and in the closing laps, we actually saw a case of the bump and run. Arsh Hossain, who had led almost every single lap, if not every single lap, coming to the white flag, gets a bump from Riley Houston, who's not in the series anymore, and thus Arsh Hossain finishes second. Riley Houston goes on to win. So Arsh Hossain, who starts in the middle of the pack, whereas last season he started on the front row, I believe. That's not where he wanted to start. That's not where he wants to start. But I'm sure if he can somehow manage his way through the field, which is just going to be hard to do because it is just a short track, he could be someone to possibly reckon with by the time we get to the late stages of this race. And speaking of championship contenders, Dale Scott. For a while right there, it was the Dale Scott and Dean Orton show, but after last week at Iowa, Dale Scott just... It was like Dean Orton was in like a 50 mile per hour car, and Dale Scott was in like a 200 mile per hour car, and both of them were heading towards Las Vegas. I know this is probably not that great of a analogy or whatever it's exactly called, description, but Dale Scott now has a 35-point lead over Dean Orton, which is close to a full race. And with him starting second place, things are looking pretty good for Dale Scott right now, he's just been crushing the competition like week in and week out. And I think it's gonna really take a lot in order for just anyone else to catch up to him, just because there is. But if we were to go back and look into the points, 2nd through 10th in points is Dean Orton, Matt Hotchkiss, Jonas Maths Jr., Andrew Gorman, Randy O'Neill, Biff Crafton, Jacob Breed, Rowan Hedgehog, and Riley Smith. That is 2nd through 10th, and I think that our championship is already somewhere inside the top 10. I'm going to make that bold prediction. But now, let's just see what kind of race we're going to get and how much it's going to impact the point standings after 50 laps. It's going to be a long one, or it could be a short one. Let's find out. So for some reason, once again, I forgot to do the starting line in the pre-race, because that's what I like to do in short tracks to with the time, or save time, should I say. And so I can't really talk too much about where everyone starts other than our front row. So I've already talked about how dominant Dale Scott has been, but Abe Troxell in the 24, he has had one of the worst seasons out of the entire field, and it looks like with his first ever pole, things could turn around today. Here we go, the green flag is out, that's awesome, and Abe Troxell gets a great start, heading down and the turns 1-2. The bottom lane is the way to go. Really not going to make any time up high, or any ground up high, should I say. In the first lap, we are clean and green. The banking at this track is 12 degrees in the corners, 18 degrees on the straightaways, not 18 degrees, 10 degrees in the straightaways, 12 in the turns, my bad. And so pretty much your speed is pretty, like, the range of speed between the fastest and the slowest points is not really that much. Like, I would say that you enter the corners at about 105, maybe 110 miles per hour, and then in the corners you're slowing down to like 82 miles per hour. So it's fairly not that much of a range compared to other tracks. But now we have our first caution, and it's Elgin Mills. And, oh my goodness, we have a crash behind them right here. Whoa, my goodness, what's that? Cameron Blake also appears to have got involved in this. Ben Goldberg and Bill Goldberg here. So the Goldberg brothers getting into it in an after rouge. So interesting here. Oh my goodness, a couple more collisions. We will be seeing quite a bit of these collisions today, and that actually might end up taking someone that was maybe having a good day, but like these like stack ups right here after cautions can really take drivers out of the race. So we'll have to keep our eye on that. And wait a second, our crasher here. What's up with this? O'Neal Balvin and Cameron Blake. So quite the strange amount of events. It's really hard to it's really hard to sort of like have a field to be organized at this track just because this track is so short and laps go by this track so quickly. But let's take a look and see what happened with everything that went down in these past 2 laps. I don't know if Ben Goldberg was mad at Elder Mills or what, but this was there were a couple times where they made contact that eventually caused Ben Goldberg to eventually just kind of like turn into Elder Mills, I would say right here, because look at this. After a couple times right here, it just ends up being too much right here, sends him into the pit wall here, and then Cameron Blake just has nowhere to go. A very hard lit like for Elder Mills, and his rough season is just going to continue. But what happened with Ben Goldberg and Philip Goldberg here on the backstretch? So he's right here. Oh, it looks like Phil Goldberg, maybe he wasn't happy with what Ben Goldberg did right here, and so he just turns right here down into the inside wall. So pretty, pretty interesting here. Maybe Phil Goldberg was mad. Uh, who knows? Now let's take a look and see what happened with some of the other accidents. What happened to Biff Crafton and O'Neal Balvin was just like an AI error, but those two drivers should be fine. And now let's go on with Philip Goldberg. So they made contact with the big just said but then he goes to the inside of the bed over here, and yeah, chances are that he probably wants payback, or just I'm not happy with what he did. I remember Cameron Blake being really good in the first few races of the season, but since then he has fallen off ever so slightly, and now this is going to be a really huge hit in the points for him, and he was just in the wrong place at the wrong time. When Elder Mills hit that pit wall, he almost just came dead stop. Cameron Blake and Elder Mills are out of the race. Payne Keys is out of the race for some particular reason, which we'll find out once we get official results. So for him, another unlucky break. And Ben Goldberg and O'Neal Balvin will start on the inside here, which could make things interesting. As we'll show you where everyone starts very quickly. And now, green flag is back out, South Boston. Dave Troxel here. I would say that if the lap cars to the inside, I don't really see how Dave Troxel is really going to lose. It kind of reminds me of a little bit of what happened yesterday in the Short Series race in Martinsville, where Bill Crafton, once he had that lap car behind him, which was Bobby Una, it benefited so much that Hamilton easily won the race. But now, as Ben Goldberg and all of has received on the last record here, now we are having a battle for the lead. Charles Bowman to the inside. In Troxel, it looks like Charles Bowman will make the pass. So Charles Bowman is looking very good so far. And he wins lap. So I honestly did not expect that we would have it. Especially this early in the event. But now, that's the punishment for being on the outside. He's gonna have to find a hole back in there. It looks like he almost did it here, but now he's gonna be pissed. So Charles Bowman here, he now leads, but it looks like Riley Smith is looking to pounce. Riley Smith, he cannot get the turns. That's going to go that well, and that's going to cause him to lose a little bit of ground. And behind him, Jim Kelly, 39. So a couple of drivers that we really haven't talked about too much about the season. Charles Bowman and Jim Kelly specifically are up front. Charles Bowman, this seems to be his. I would say this seems to be his biggest series because he had a very rough season season ago, and it looks like that pattern is repeating once again. And I think that this is a huge win for him. It'll be his first ever American Ethanol Series win if he can win today. And right behind him, Jim Kelly. It's really just kind of been a whole season of like not really like anything good for him. And now he takes second away from Riley Smith. And now we're starting to see Neil Scott and Fit Team starting to make up some ground right here and pass drivers. But now here, I think these lap cars are here. Ben these not cars, these slower cars, Ben Goldberg and an issue. Oh my goodness, another crash. Club Crafton, just above us. Watch out. Everyone should be able to get through this. Okay, so it looks like that it was those drivers. Matt Hoshkus on the road. Ryan Casey was some huge damage. And maybe some other drivers will also get this event as well. So let's take a look and see what happened as we are now almost at the halfway mark of the race. Whoa! Wait a second. What is Rocketchuck doing? No, not Rocketchuck. What is Justin Talavas doing? That was strange. So this all started really coming out of turn number 2 right here, when Ian Saunders and Justin Talavas battling for 20th position gets together, and then Club Crafton, when Ian Saunders comes down, clips Ian Saunders here, which then goes back up into Justin Talavas here, and then it goes into the outside wall very hard with the right side here, and it actually causes his car to go upside down. Garrett Sinner also gets some damage. Ryan Casey has nowhere to go, so does Matt Hoshkus. And for Tony Valerio, Ben Philip Goldberg, and Arch Hussein, they all did a very good job of avoiding this. And then Cliff Crafton hits Justin Talabas one more time again. So I think for Justin Talabas, his day will be over along with Ryan Casey's and Matt Hoshkus' day, most likely. And for drivers like Matt Hoshkus who comes into space for points, this is definitely going to be a huge blow for him. The way Arch Hussein avoided this wreck makes avoiding all wrecks look super easy. Ryan Casey's rough season will continue, and from the camera we have in the cockpit, once he hits Club Crafton, he almost cannot see. Went straight down the dirt road. Let's take a flyby of this wild wreck. That is not on the lead lap. Matt Hoshkus and Club Crafton will be still in the racetrack, but just a lap down or more. And after that last restart, Charles Billing was able to take the lead, but there were a couple of fast drivers behind him, like Jim Kelly and Riley Smith. So it'll be interesting to see if Charles Billing can haul off these drivers. And now the comeback comes out on the 25, so we are now at the halfway mark of the race. And Matt Hoshkus is trying to get his lap back, and he might be able to do it. It looks like it. And now, Charles Billing actually got hold up just a little bit, so now Jim Kelly's now going to try to bounce. And he's going to the inside. So to the inside is the 39 of Jim Kelly. A season ago, Jim Kelly was pretty good in almost all 3 series, but however, as far as my memory serves, but this was one series that I don't think he ever got a win. So if he were to win tonight, this would be his first ever American Ethanol Series win ever, as far as I can remember. And now behind him, it's now turning into a battle for second between Charles Billing and Dale Scott. Right behind these two is Royal Catjog in number 8, who's having a nice solid run, and he was very dominant at Iowa, leading most of the laps and just coming a little bit short. Game past both Elisa Gonzalez in the late stages of the event. And now Club Crafton here. Club Crafton, it's kind of going to become a pretty big interference in traffic. And the driver that passed Roman Kitchuk is the 90 Elisa Gonzalez, who is currently running mid-pack. Yes. Yeah, and what drivers like Lisa Gonzalez and Garrett Sinner kind of prove is that you can't really take very much from Iowa into South Austin. I just don't think you can. And now all of a sudden here, I noticed that Dale Scott is stuck on the high side here. He's actually now starting to lose positions here. It looks like maybe that's because the Club Crafton holding him up. And right behind him, Dean Horton. If Dean Horton can get by Dale Scott, he's not going to gain a lot of points. He's definitely going to gain points and shorten that lead. And that's what these drivers need to and that's what all of these drivers need to do if they're going to want to pass Dean Horton. But now all of a sudden we now have a battle for the lead. Charles Billing, Jim Kelly, in a series that has had, I would say, a pretty mixture of rookies and veterans. There's some kind of like like good feeling of seeing two veterans since the beginning battled out. But now we have a caution, and who's it for? Possibly these two, Cameron Gallatin and Kendall Maynor. It looks like that was pretty much it. So Jim Kelly here, he led that caution lap, so he will maintain the lead. Well, let's take a look and see what happened to what appears to be just. Oh my goodness! Oh my god! Another crash here! Whoa! My goodness! This was a huge crash. O'Neal Belvin, Cliff Crafton, Biff Crafton, Jonas Smith Jr., William Bedford, Curly Haywood, Austin Kennedy, several drivers involved. We'll have to take a look at this one as well. I had a feeling that Club Crafton was going to be an interference in traffic, and that's what caused the circuit here. So Club Crafton, this lower car, just gets hooked from behind by Riley Smith, and down into the pole center, Abe Troxell are here. So Abe Troxell, once again, looks like his rough season just continues, even though despite the qualifying position are here. And Cameron Gallatin also got a piece of it. But Kendall Maynor, he went on his lid here, and this was pretty similar to what happened to Justin Galapis, I would say. And just like Justin Galapis, he goes on his roof. And what's kind of funny is that while I cannot show past replays, if you go back and watch this race a season ago, Kyle Collins, who drove that 70 car, did almost the exact same thing. Flip over in almost the exact same spot. Now, let's go onboard some drivers. Well, actually, okay, here's what happened on the backstretch. So, in this game, in R2003, basically, it's like under caution. Once the pace car gets by you, the AI decides to act very like goofy, and basically it acts like this. So this crash wasn't caused by contact. It was caused because drivers all of a sudden randomly started slowing down, and this actually might have been the reason why. I think it was Payne Keys is now out of the race, if I remember correctly. So yeah, so that might have been the reason why why he's out of the race, if he is out of the race. Yeah, so that explains that. But now let's go on board some drivers. On board Lisa Gonzalez, who barely escaped this melee. Once again, Club Crafton will still be on the racetrack and will start on the inside, and O'Neal Belvin will also join it as well. But no DNFs after the last crash, so there's still 35 cars on the lead lap. And for some of the drivers that got involved, like Abe Troxell, his rough season is just continuing as he's now in the middle of the pack. Jim Kelly leads back to the right lap. Can he hold on for just 11 more laps? That's going to be the big question here. But I gotta say, I'm not feeling really comfortable about Club Crafton at all. He's actually becoming more of an interference this time right here. And it's actually really only Charles Williams going backwards. And now it's opening up for John Martin in one car. If I open it well, he now could take this way. Maybe along with Johnny Wills, maybe. But it just depends. I think that if we get our caution, it might be all over, or there's a chance to go for other drivers to get by Jim Kelly and thus win this race. But Jim Kelly, he's looking very good right now. As we go through the field. And actually, I want to show this cool angle. We did not use this angle last season, but I guess this is one of the coolest angles you will see in all of the tracks that the SERL goes to. And that is the pit lane one camera, pretty much shows us the entire circuit. As it is now starting to get mostly a single file and double file, so it looks like that this race is coming a lot. Oh wait, never mind. I just noticed a crash up there. Crash! Just like a laps ago, Nick Smith has some heavy damage. Oh, I guess he gets him on the crash again. Oh my god! A huge crash. So a huge crash on the back stretch and a huge crash on the front stretch. And as I had a feeling this would happen, Club Crafton are here. So this they went out officially, and some drivers are very happy about that. But Jim Kelly are here. I think we'll get maybe like a one-lap dash or something like that. But let's take a look closer at some at these huge crashes. Once again, the reason for this caution: the interference of Club Crafton. And right behind him was Blank Hughes, who was he was in the 5th position, so he could have gone on top 5 had this not happened. And so these two drivers here, they hook together and just down into the inside wall goes Club Crafter here, and Blank Hughes goes back across the racetrack. Nick Smith has nowhere to go. Ben Braley gets some damage. Drivers like Lisa Gonzalez once again barely get through this. Tornado got some damage, and Evan Apollo also got some damage. But this crash right here on the back stretch could have been a lot more bigger. But now let's take a look and see what happened on the front stretch, where Nick Smith here trying to go 4 wide. Well, okay, that damage did slow up Nick Smith a lot. So this crash was kind of a little bit here, and so these two drivers here all get together. Nick Smith, Alan Gray, and Tony. No, it's not Tony. It's Carberry here, and look at this here. Both Nick Smith and Carberry go up in the air, and Alan Gray comes back down across the racetrack into Riley Smith. Randy O'Neill gets damaged, and so does Torn Dieter. So overall, 2 massive, wild wrecks at opposite ends of the speedway. And these crashes, I'm sure, are going to take out many drivers. I'm sure once this race is over, many drivers are going to have a word with Club Crafton. Blank Keys entered this race 18 points, and with how many drivers in front of him in points were having struggles, this was going to be a really good day for him in the points, and now that's all gone sour. It was a combination of great driving skills and luck that helped Riley Smith avoid both crashes. I'm sure Nick Smith was one of those drivers who thought after what happened on the backstretch it would just end, but nope, it didn't stop there. It wasn't too long ago where we talked about Garrett Sinner being one of the drivers involved in a major crash in turns 3 and 4, and with him avoiding both these bugs, he now might actually get a top 15 finish. Every driver on this list is now officially out of the race, which means a total of 9 cars. And O'Balvin, who's actually going to be the 4th driver that will take the green flag, is the only driver that's 1 lap down. And so now we're in for 1 lap dash. So I think we were in 1 lap dash a season ago. And if you remember, Riley Houston used the bumper run on Marshall Hussein. Will John Martin do the same thing to Jim Kelly, or will Jim Kelly just drive away? Here we go. The white flag is now at South Boston. Jim Kelly gets a great restart, and I think that's going to help him. And this is going to be a good finish for him, John Moore, Johnny Wilson, and a couple others. So coming out of turn number 4, Jim Kelly will win his first ever American Ethanol Series race when it comes at South Boston Speedway. Just like Martinsville, what a race. And now here is the finish order. Wow, less than a minute. So here is the fishing results once again. So some of the bigger losers are going to be drivers like Mullins and Portino, or some of the biggest losers. It's kind of hard to tell. Are some of the biggest losers? I guess like drivers like just Talapas and Cameron Blake, which were both inside the top 15 points. Those are some of the bigger losers. And a couple other drivers that maybe didn't DNF but also got bad. Also finished in the back because of crashes like drivers like Philip Goldberg and Torn Dieter. Some of the drivers were inside the top 20 points, and then there were drivers like Abe Troxell, who finished. Where did he finish? I cannot seem to find him. Apex still finished 14th, but I think getting involved in one of those late crashes is what caused him to finish right around there. But just overall, it's really hard to take in what exactly happened. I think that while I don't think in the Hot Wheels Cup series we're going to in our short track, uh, this track a season ago produced a lot of exciting action and some pretty like big crashes and wild crashes like we saw tonight. And I think that track is Vermont. I'm not exactly completely sure, but I think Vermont is where the Hot Wheels Cup series is not going to. And so it looks like that Dale Scott will continue his points lead, but Dean Orton got another good finish. But the thing is, for him, in order for him and our drivers to take his points lead away from Dale Scott, they're gonna have to do better, or they're just gonna have to hope that Dale Scott gets in the crash, which that kind of does not look like that's gonna happen anytime soon. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this race. Be sure to rate, comment, subscribe, and buy, and congrats to Jim Kelly.